Hey guys, welcome back to the fucked up life of Morgan Lawler, episode 2. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel now. This is the second episode of, I guess, the breakup between me and Evan. I'm gonna be explaining pretty much everything that's gone on. If you haven't watched the first episode, you're not gonna understand anything that's going on in this one, so you might wanna do that. If you are wondering why I'm wearing a swimsuit, it's for the haters, because they say that I never have enough clothes on, so. And my room's literally like 68 degrees, so I'm freezing right now, but anything for you guys. So if you are a fan of Temptation Island and you just want to know what happened with me and Evan, if you're really invested in our relationship, this will explain everything that led to the end of the relationship. If you never watched Temptation Island and you've been in an abusive relationship before, this might help you too. The reason I'm making this is not only for myself to get closure and to, I guess, move forward with my life, but also to help people that may be in the same position, because I know that it happens. It's not just me, you know, because a lot of times it can feel like it's just you, but there are so many other people in the world that are going through something so similar. So I hope that it helps. I hope that, you know, it brings some entertainment to you guys, because I know it will, because it's bizarre and out of this world. Again, so it is July 5th today. So if you see me in this, I guess, unless I change because I'm actually really cold, then it's from today. If you see me in the orange, that's from April. And if you see me in that gray, then that's from July 2nd, so like 2 days ago, 3 days ago. I think that you'll be able to tell a difference in, like, sorry, I just burped, in how devastated I am. I'm still devastated, like, to be honest, and I'm still struggling with this, and so I don't want anyone to think that I'm not, and I'll get into that, but you can still tell a difference. I'm more, I think, angry in this stage than I was before, or before I was just sad. But yeah, here we go. Enjoy. So in the last video, I ended it with saying that in August everything changed, and I'm gonna go into what I mean by that. Leading up to the talk between my mom and Evan's mom, he was acting extremely strange, and he was extremely irritable. He was fighting with strangers constantly. I never knew what to expect from him. I was almost scared to bring him anywhere around my friends, because he was starting fights with them. He was starting fights with strangers. An example, I brought him for his birthday, I got him tickets to the Khalid concert, because we love Khalid. And within 20 minutes of us being there, he got in a fight with an 18-year-old. And so we had to leave. And like, they were great tickets, like they were floor seats, and like we didn't get to experience that because he got in a fight. And like, that's so embarrassing. And I'm like, first of all, as a tiny kid, as an 18-year-old, like, what are you doing? Like, what do you have to prove? Like, why are you acting like this? You're also 6'6". Like, what are you doing? And so that would cause so many fights with us, is bullying. I hate bullies. And I was noticing him bullying people all the time. And I think that it was a reflection of how he was feeling inside. I think that he was scared that all of his lies were about to catch up to him, because, you know, we'd been together a year and we were supposed to be getting married. And when you get married to someone, you know, you start to find out like their financial situation and all that. And I think that it was too much on him, and I could tell. So once my mom told me that everything that he was saying was a lie, it kind of made sense to me, because I was blinded completely. Like, and you know, people can call me stupid, they can call me whatever, but like a lot of times, like when you're in love with someone, you want to trust them and you think the best of them, even if it doesn't really make sense in your head. I still was like, but he wouldn't do that. Like, why would he lie about that? Like, he knows I don't care about money, so why would he lie and be like, I'm like a multi-millionaire? Like, doesn't, like, who does that? So tough to talk about. So basically, after I talked to his mom and she like tells me, like begs me to not leave him, I already wasn't going to leave him because I loved him. I just, had conditions. First of all, you need to get a job and start paying me back. Second of all, you need to go to therapy for lying because it's too much. It's like not just little lies. It's like huge lies, and it's constant, and that's alarming to me. And he completely agreed to do all of that stuff, and I didn't think that it was going to be a problem because he was so grateful to me. He seemed like he was so grateful that I still stuck around, even knowing all this stuff about him. And I made sure to tell him, like, Evan, I've never cared about the money stuff at all. Like, I don't give a shit. I can take care of myself. I just don't want to be taking care of both of us. And now I'm in a setback because I was paying for all your shit for a year. Plus I was overspending because you kept talking about how when you pay me back, you're going to pay me back more than what you owe me. And he seemed to completely understand. The problem was we had a sponsored trip planned in Croatia the day after I found out everything. And so basically I was like, so when we get home, you got to take all these steps. Okay? Makes sense. I was like, let's have the best trip ever. Let's do this. I've never been out of the country. It's going to be great. And he's like, okay, yeah, thank you so much, blah, blah, blah. We're good. And I'm extremely forgiving. Like, that's just my nature. And so I literally was like, let's like clean slate it. We'll worry about this when we get home. So we get to Croatia. We're having a great time. Like, the majority of the trip was great. I will say that. But there were several instances where I felt like he was seeing what he could get away with. So he would lie to people and like look at me to see if I'm going to call him out. And when I did call him out, I called him out one freaking time. And it's because he lied to some of the people that we were with and said that he owns a nightclub in DC. That's absurd. And so I was like, he doesn't own a nightclub in DC. And he somehow turned it around on me and was like, why can't you just stop? Like, making it like it's like I created this problem. And I don't know how like he was able to do this, but he always was able to turn everything around to make it to where I was the one apologizing for his actions. But we were also in a foreign country, and I was like, you know what? Like, I don't know, maybe he's acting out because he's embarrassed and his ego is hurt because of all this. I don't know. And so I let a lot of things go. But once we got home, I was kind of on his ass about getting therapy and getting a job. Come to find out, I was taking him to therapy every week. And he was waiting in the lobby for an hour and then coming back out to my car. So he was having me wait. I'm thinking he's going to therapy. And then he would come back with these elaborate stories about his therapy session. I had no idea that he actually wasn't going. And I did wonder, I was like, how is he paying for it? But then he said his mom was doing it. And I was like, okay, cool. So, because I didn't pay for the therapy. There's so many things, God. But I let that go too. Because of love. Actually got like really cold, so I'm wearing my favorite Alaska shirt and it's super wrinkly, but whatever. So Evan used an excuse to fight all the time about the fact that I said that I didn't necessarily want to live with his friend Quinn because he lived in an influencer house. And so I knew that it was going to be a bunch of Instagram models and stuff like that. And, you know, mind you, me and Evan we're engaged. You know, we're supposed to be like starting a life together. And I just thought that it might not be the best environment for us, but I was willing to do it. But because I expressed that concern with him, he turned it around on me to a fight all the time about how I hate his friends and, you know, you hate Quinn. And I'm like, I don't hate Quinn. I don't even know Quinn. I met him twice. And one time he was really nice to me and he was cool. The second time, like, he didn't speak to me, but it's because you were telling him your plot to leave me, you know, like, which I found out later. He literally, it was like he was like trying to make up excuses to leave without me, which I know now. So all of November and December, he would pick fights with me all the time. Like, and it was like so constant. It was like he would find anything. November was a bad month. November and December were really, really bad. So November, Evan broke his phone. I gave him one of my extra phones. He broke that one too. So then he ended up having to buy another one. I'm not sure if his mom bought it or what. I'm sure that she did. But he got a new phone, but he never turned the other one off, mine, the one that I gave him. So he was out with one of my good friends, Sam, whatever. So he's out with one of my good friends, Sam, and his phone goes off and it says, damn, she's fucking crazy. And like, okay, mind you, this entire relationship from September when we met all the way to the next November, I've never checked his phone once because I never felt like he was cheating on me. And I know he wasn't while he lived with me. So I never like felt the need to do that. And I just happened to go by and it said she's fucking crazy. And so I'm like, you know, like, who's fucking crazy? So I look at it and it's a text from his friend Quinn. And so I start scrolling up and he's talking about me and he's telling him about me like slicing my finger on purpose and wiping the blood on him, like all that, like that bullshit that's not even fucking true. And then I keep scrolling and it's him and Quinn plotting him to leave me and to steal my ring and to sell it. And so, which is really, really funny because that whole like November, Evan was like really weird about going to Tiffany's and getting the receipts from the ring. And I was like, why do you need the insurance for it now? Like, I don't understand. You know, I never take it off, like whatever. And I didn't think twice about it, but then it made sense. So I'm reading all this stuff. My heart's just going crazy because he's lying to Quinn. He's telling him that he's not sleeping with me at all, that we're like sleeping in different rooms. That's not the case at all. It's not at all. Like, we're always together. We literally spend every freaking second together. And the majority of the time was good. It was just when we'd fight over him lying and we'd fight over him being mean to people. That's it. It was never an us thing. So I'm reading this. I'm like already crying. And then I keep reading. He's saying, come to LA without her. And then you can decide later if you actually want to be with her. There's so many girls here. Things are better. Like, I mean, it was mind blowing. Oh, and then Evan was telling him that he's out of money because I've been spending all his money. So same shit he said to me about Casey, that she was spending all his money when in actuality, she was the one paying for everything. That was me. So I'm reading this and I'm getting even more mad because it's like, bitch, I just bought your fucking dinner. And now you're telling your friends that you need to move in with him for free because you can't afford rent because I've been draining you? Are you kidding me? And so, of course, I'm going to be a fucking dick to him when I see him. So he comes back. We get in a huge ass fight. I'm like throwing the fucking phone at him, screaming, as anyone would do. Like, I don't care. And then he, you know, of course, uses that to tell Quinn and whoever else that I'm like crazy and wild and whatever. But it's like, yo, for not only did I find out that you were lying about every single thing that you said you paid me back for, I've been a great person with this. And I'm like, as long as you help yourself, I'm good because I love you. Not only that, now you're betraying me by lying about me and saying that I'm the one using you. You can't imagine how hurtful that is, first of all, but then it angers you because it's like, you ungrateful fucking piece of shit. And that's what I would say to him. And then he called me mentally abusive. which that is mentally abusive. I completely agree. And I would say this, like, you can literally, right now, I'm getting angry and you can tell exactly how I say it to him. I'd be like, yes, I'm being mentally abusive, but it's because you are literally forcing me to be that. How else do I get through to you? What do you want me to do? Like, stroke your back and say, it's okay. I'm sorry that you had to lie about me to make yourself feel better. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you're pretending to still like be in love with me or whatever, but really you're planning your escape because I'm telling you that you need to get a job. What person in their right mind would act like that? Okay, sorry, I turned the light on and it looks better. But yeah, so we would fight all the time, and he would always say this: every fight that we have, it's not over me and you, it's over other people. You care more about the fucking world than you care about me. And it's like, no, I don't care more about everyone else over you. Because he'd be like, you care about your friends more than you care about me, and I'm the one that's going to be there for your whole life. I'm your partner, blah, blah. It's like, no, it's not that I'm saying I care more about them. I care about everyone, and I care about fairness. And why can't everyone get along? Why can't everyone be kind to each other? Why do you choose to put people down? Why do you choose to be a bully? And I would say these are fundamental issues that we have. And then he'd turn it on me and cry and say that I'm so evil because I make him feel like he's not good enough, because he would say he grew up with parents that were mean to the world, and like, I don't, like, you know, like there's always an excuse, and it was always crying, and it was always my fault for being too good of a person, which I'll get back to that too, is like I've been reading so much lately on narcissism. And, you know, the narcissists, they pick people who are empaths, and they pick people that are usually good people that are going to be patient with you and feel bad for you. And it's just so overwhelming to read the stuff and be like, oh my God, like, I'm that idiot. That's been me this whole time. Like, he's literally using me because it's like he knows me. It's like he's researched me or something. That's how I feel. It's like, it's so weird, because I know I'm smarter than him. He's not like, not even to be mean, he's not like that smart, but he is good at what he does. He's intelligent in, I don't even know how to explain it. But then he'll use that as an excuse too. He's like, I'm not as smart as you. That's why I don't know how to respond to people when they're joking with me, and I don't know how to be a nice person because, you know, I don't have like the brain capacity. I'm like, no, you're literally turning this around because you know exactly what you're doing. I could talk about this for the days and days and days. But yeah, those were like mostly our arguments. We didn't argue over anything. Literally nothing except other people, because I care about other people. And he would actively try to destroy other people, and I never understood that. And like, we'd be in a room and he would try to make himself out to be better than every person in the room, and I'm like, I do that. People don't like you if you're like that. People like people that are normal, you know? So yeah, another like just a small example is Evan met my brother for the first time, and my twin brother, who I like adore, and we're hilarious together because we have very similar personalities. We joke at each other, we fuck with each other all the time, and I do that with my dad too. My whole family, we just all like make fun of each other, and it's, you know, it's a joke, like it's funny. And my brother, my brother's 5'9", you know, he's big, like he's very in shape, but he's 10 times smaller than Evan. And so he meets Evan, and he kind of like starts like making jokes about like him like being small, which Evan's not small, so it's like a ha-ha thing. And he made a joke about like Evan hitting leg day. And Evan literally was like, oh, yo, bro, you want to go check right now? Let's go see who can, whatever more. What is it? The leg thing. Deadlift? I don't know what it's called. Whatever it was. Squat. Let's go see who can squat more. And my brother's like, yo, bro, I was just kidding. You could literally squat me 1 billion times, bro. And he had to like pat him on the back. And then my brother like comes upstairs with me, and I'm already engaged to this guy, mind you. This is in November, like right before all the bad shit happened. This is like Thanksgiving. My brother's like, yo, he kind of sucks. And we both just started dying laughing because I knew he felt that way, but he wanted to be kind to me because he knew I loved him. And I was like, no, he's just sensitive. And I always had to do that. And he's like, yo, but why? And I was like, I know, exactly. And he's like, well, I'll be extra nice to him. I'll stroke his ego a bit. And I was like, thank you. Like, who has to do that? To a big 6'6", like, you know, I don't know, whatever. Just doesn't make sense to me. You always have to be building him up. His ego is insane. And it shouldn't be. Like, do something for yourself. Please, God. Damn, I've been kind of rude in this, but whatever. It's just how I'm feeling, and you can tell I'm kind of angry. So, I think that we are both moving to LA together. We're gonna go live with Quinn. And this is gonna be on January 1st. We're gonna drive together. Me, Ghost, and Evan, we're gonna drive. We're gonna sell all of the shit in my apartment, you know, that I've accumulated over 6 years of living there. And we're gonna sell it all so that we have some cash and stuff. And then we're gonna drive together to LA. Even after I caught him in that lie in late November, saying that he was gonna like pack up and leave without me, he convinced me afterwards that he was just talking shit and that like he really does want to go with me. He just wants me to accept him and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, we're in this together. Like I literally said to him, I was like, we can literally be poor in a shack together as long as you are good to me. I don't care. And I was like laughing and smiling at him, and he did not laugh. And I remember thinking like, kind of a bad sign that he didn't think that was funny at all. But anyway, so he's helping me pack. We're like selling the couches, selling the everything. We sell everything in the house, like literally everything. And I'm packing his stuff because he can't pack right. So I'm packing all of his shit like nicely because he had just thrown it everywhere. And I started to put some of our stuff together, some of our clothes. And he was like, no, keep it separate. And I was like, why? Are you trying to leave me? Or something? And he's like, and I was laughing, and he's like, why the fuck would you ever say that? And then we got in a fight over it. I was like, it was a joke. And he's like, that shit's not fucking funny. Like, what, you want me to leave you? Like, blah, blah. And then he starts going crazy. And that's what I'm talking about. Like, anything triggered him. You can't joke with him. You can't anything. Anything made him go off the handle. And that's when it was like, I'd sit in the bathroom and be like, what do I do? How do I do this? How do I make us not fight? Because it was impossible. If someone wants to fight with you, they're gonna fight you no matter what. And so that's what I needed to realize. But so he helps me pack. I pack his shit like he wanted me to, perfectly, nice and neat. And then I'm packing my stuff the night before we're supposed to leave. He's helping me pack my stuff and everything. And he's telling me like what I should throw away and what I shouldn't and like blah, blah. The next morning, like our whole house is packed. We have one couch that needs to get picked up. There's a couple like things that we needed to get done. And then my car, we were selling at 3 p.m. that day because we were taking a U-Haul there. It's like 7:30 in the morning and I'm still asleep because I sleep till like 9:30, 10. He's like, I'm like waking up to him and he's playing with my hand, which he always does. And so I'm just like, sleeping. And then all of a sudden he's like, what's his hand? He's like going like this and playing with my ring. And I'm awake, but I'm pretending I'm still asleep because I'm like, what is he doing? And he's got, he's going like this. He's also rubbing my head. And then it gets to like above my knuckle, like way above my knuckle. That's when I was like, what are you doing? And he goes, what? And like his face changes. And then he realizes that he just got caught trying to steal the ring off of my finger. And he gets up and he's like, see, this is why I don't do fucking shit for you. This is the exact reason. Why'd you look at me like that? Why'd you wake up like that? I was like, I just woke up to you taking my ring off my finger. And he was like, I was re-proposing and you fucking ruined it, just like you ruined everything. And I'm like, re-proposing? What? If you're gonna re-propose, why would you do it in the morning, like when I'm like dead asleep, and then why would you take it off my finger at that exact time? And then it doesn't make sense. It was obvious that he was making that up, and I said it. He's like, fuck this, fuck you, I knew you were gonna fucking do this. We can't do anything together without you causing a fight. And he slams the door and leaves. I think that he's just like fucking around because it's like, we're leaving today. Like, what are you doing? And so like I go and I take a shower and I'm like chilling or whatever. And then he comes back and all of the shit that I had packed for him is gone. And it's in a rental car. So I'm looking at a rental car and I'm like, we're getting a U-Haul, like what? How do you have a rental car? You've been gone for 30 minutes. Come to find out, he had rented that rental car the day before. So he knew that entire time that he was gonna be starting a fight, trying to steal the ring so he could sell it, and leaving me. So he ends up leaving, and I'm just in shock. And for any woman or man that's been through a relationship like this where the person turns everything around on you, is a complete narcissist and like, I don't want to say any other words, like so like just terrible to you. It's embarrassing and it's sad to look back on yourself and what you were doing to try and get them back. So he left me like that. And I remember calling and texting and crying and screaming and on the floor. I literally probably texted him 1,000 times. I probably called him 1,000 times, begging him to come back. Please, I'll do anything. I'm so sorry. It's my fault. I did all of this. I'm such a terrible person. I'll be better, I promise. And he's answering back like, no, you won't. You'll never be a good person to me and blah, blah. Like, you hate me. This is your fault. Over and over and over. And I'm just begging and begging, like, please, come on. You're not going to drive 40 some hours by yourself. Like, what about our life? Like, what about this? You didn't even say bye to me. Blah, blah. He literally goes the entire way. I don't know how he got the money because he had $0 in his bank account. And then in the mail, it said he had negative like $197 in his account. I think that he must have asked his mom and she must have like paid for everything. I'm not sure, but just imagine. And so this is December 27th. I don't tell my family, I don't tell my friends because it's embarrassing and I'm hoping that he'll come back, you know, like, or like whatever, halfway through the trip. Because he did it in 2.5 days or something, which is insane. Halfway through the trip, I'm like, hey, I'll fly you back home and we can do this drive together. Like, we will make this work. We're gonna figure it out. He won't do it. He's still telling me like, this is your fault, blah, blah. Finally, I have to tell my mom, and I think I told her, luckily my apartment complex let me stay until the 1st of January because I was supposed to be out the 27th. But I explained to them like, yo, my fiance just fucking left. Like, I'm supposed to be selling my car in 2 hours and he just left me. And the guy that was supposed to be buying my car was pissed, as he should have been. But I was like, I can't give you my car right now. Like, my fiance just left me. I don't know, like, I need my car because I don't have anywhere to live. Like, he left me like that, like with nothing. He knew I had sold everything in my life. Like, it was the worst, most embarrassing, not even like, hurtful, like heart-wrenching, worst moments of my life, but they kept lasting. They lasted for over a month. Shit, no, way more than that. I mean, what is it now, June? It's July, my bad. This shit's like, it's really tough to deal with. How someone that you give so much to can be so heartless. And so, honestly, it's like borderline evil. So anyways, he gets to California and then he flips the script and says that the reason that he had to leave early was because he felt useless and he wanted to be able to provide for me. So he wanted to work with his friend Quinn, make some money, and then we can get our own place in a month. So it's January 1st or something like that. And I spent New Year's Eve on the kitchen floor of my empty apartment, bawling my eyes out. I rang in 2020 like no one else. And it was sad because my mom had to be there. Ugh. And see her child like that. And there's nothing she could do. And I know she wanted to spend New Year's with my dad. but she was like, there's nowhere I'd rather be than with you. Like, it's like more heartbreaking talking about like what my family and friends had to go through seeing me in that state, because I knew they couldn't help me and they knew they couldn't help me, but they just knew they had to see me like that. And they all knew how much I loved him and how much I did for him after everything, because they saw it all, you know? So yeah, I spent New Year's like that. My mom just trying to get me off the floor, even though we had nowhere to sit anyways. But yeah, there was that. Luckily, my friend Berna let me live with her for a month. But every day I was trying to go out to Evan and be like, yo, like, I don't care, I'll live with Quinn. I'll live with Quinn for a while, it doesn't matter. And he would just make up excuses for like, no, you think I'm a piece of shit because I'm like mooching off my friend, which I will tell you he's still doing, by the way, and it's July. Oh, fuck. He was just made up excuse after excuse and saying that he needs to work and blah, blah, blah. But then he starts going out every night. And then all these influencer girls start staying the night at their house, because it's like a 3 or 4 bedroom place. And I mean, it's really nice, but then like girls come and shoot content there, but they stay the night, and they're influencer girls, like, you know, they're all models and stuff like that. And he's like, no, like there's no one here. And then of course it's not very hard to fucking find out that there's girls there. So then I'm like stalking those girls, which makes me look like a psychopath, but it's like, it's my freaking fiance and he's staying the night with these girls. This is so weird. And lying about it. Every night at the same time his phone would die. And then he blames me, and it's like, you just think that I'm doing something and I'm not. And when you do that to me, it makes me want to do it. It's so much manipulation, it's so crazy. And I'm like, you realize you just left me across the fucking country and now I've got to drive by myself. I have no home. I've given everything to you. Whatever. So we decide that February I'm gonna come there. And he's still acting like it's my fault. He's like, so if you come in February, you better fucking be nice to me and you better be a new person. This is so crazy. And I'm like, I promise. And I'm begging him. I'm like, I'm so sorry. This is all me. And okay, so now for the good story. Like, this is the one. This is the story. But so like after all of this has happened, and I've been reading so much on like narcissism and how they target empaths, and how narcissists will take the people that are closest to them and demonize them to other people. And now, I mean, I see exactly what he was doing. I still don't understand it, obviously, because my brain does not work that way. But, and it's hard to accept. That's the hardest thing. It's hard for me to accept because, first of all, I don't like to accept failure in anything, but also I freaking care about that person. I would have worked through anything. I would have gone to therapy with him. I would have, you know, done anything to make it work because I felt empathy for him. And I always think everyone does things for a reason. So if someone's lying on you or someone's, you know, acting a certain way, maybe it's because they're sad in their heart, or maybe there's something that they're not telling you. Like, I don't know. It's hard to explain how I feel about things, because when I say them out loud, it sounds really stupid. But I made every excuse in the book to help him, even when there were so many signs. When someone's talking shit about you that's not even true, to like set it up, and then saying that they're gonna take your ring and sell it because you used all their money. Like, what? Morgan, come on, you should have been running for the hills after that. But I didn't. And that was November. End of November, so after we came back from the reunion. December was even worse. I can't. Oh, this story. This story is tough to tell. So he's in LA, and then he's telling me, I need to be in LA before you so that I can, make some money and pay you back so that I can feel like a man, like I'm good enough for you. And I'm like, well, you could do that with me being in LA. Like, we were supposed to be going to LA at the same time in 2 days. Why would you leave 2 days before me and then leave me with all the big furniture to move and drive across the country by myself? And he had no explanation for that. So that's another thing. It just did not make sense to me. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, so crazy. So I spend New Year's Eve, like literally in the middle of an empty apartment on the floor, like crying, like wondering what the fuck is going on with my life. Like, he didn't give me any explanations, no nothing. He's just telling me that he's like trying to make money for us, and it doesn't make sense. So I end up staying with my friend Berna for a couple weeks. And then, he's going out every night. His phone's dying every night at 8 o'clock. There's Instagram models staying the night at their house. Like, it's like weird shit. Still no proof that he like actually did anything, but whatever. So my dumbass, I'm still wanting to make this all work. So I drive across country on February 1st, I get there February 1st, 40 hours, and he's telling me like, you need to like make this work with me, like show me that you can be better, like like literally making it like it's my fault that this is all going sour. And it's just crazy, the manipulation. It's hard to talk about. So I get to LA, and mind you, my family thinks that I'm staying with my friend Tara, because if they knew that I was chasing after this boy that fucked me over so like royally, and I was the one trying to make things work, they would kill me. They would literally be so upset with me. And so no one knows that I'm in LA. They think I'm in Newport Beach. So I'm in LA, and I'm like, hey, I'll be there in 30 minutes. And he's like, oh, okay, great, can't wait to see you, blah, blah, blah. Get there, and I go ring the doorbell, and there's no answer. I call him a billion times, his phone's off. Like weird shit, like whatever. And I'm like, I knew he was smoking, so maybe he like was too high and fell asleep. So I give him the benefit of the doubt. I can't do anything, I can't go anywhere because no one knows I'm here. And so I just sit in my car. 8+ hours later, I'm literally in my car next to his window, which would be my window, our window. And he comes out 8 hours later, crying, like, baby, what the hell? Like, I left the door open for you. You should have came in. You should have came in. Like blaming me for not coming in. And I'm like, you knew I was gonna be there in 30 minutes. Like, you didn't fall asleep that fast, whatever. And then he's like, how dare you even think that I did anything? And I'm like, it's just sketchy. Like, I know you wouldn't do anything. Like, that would be so stupid for you to do something, blah, blah. But then he's making me feel dumb for questioning him. So then I find out that the whole time, he was hooking up with a random ass girl, knowing that I was about to be there. He literally asked her over at the same time I was about to be there. Who does that? Okay guys, so I took another break to eat leftover pizza and shower and shit, and I'm just trying to finish it because I said I would post it tomorrow. And it's literally been all day I've been doing this, basically, on and off. I've been taking breaks because it just sucks to talk about. But trying to think where I was. I think that I'm just gonna end this because it's so much information, I know it's going to be like 45 minutes and no one wants to sit there and watch me talk for that long. I think I'm going to end this after the February thing where like he fucked another girl while I was sitting outside and took dick pills so that he could do it. I think I'm going to end it at that. And if I make a third video, which I probably will because I know you guys are going to have so many questions, because there's just so much to put in this, like just comment your questions, comment your thoughts, comment your whatever. Just like don't sit there and like call me ugly and shit because I'm not wearing makeup and no wonder why he left you and shit like that you guys do. Please don't do that. But any questions you guys have, I'll answer them or try to. And I definitely want to make a video about all the lies that are crazy because they're so funny, some of them. Like, they're so bizarre, like, that you believe them because it's like no one fucking makes that up. And sorry I'm cussing so much. See, this is my natural mouth, and like, my mom taught me. She's the one that gets mad at me. She's like, you need to stop with the F-bombs. And I'm like, you're the one that fucking taught me to do this. And she's like, you better stop fucking cussing, Morgan. So yeah, like mother, like daughter. I think I'm done. You just wouldn't even believe. Okay, I'll tell one. Or maybe I'll tell two. We'll see how I'm feeling in a second. So one lie that he told was, we're sitting at my parents' house, you know, just chilling. And he just randomly says that at his first grade birthday party, Johnny Depp came and wrote him a children's book called Evan Goes to School. And it was the first children's book that Johnny Depp ever wrote, and it was dedicated just to Evan. And it had pictures and everything. And it's because his mom was Johnny Depp's tax lady. Who in their right mind, who in anyone's mind, even if their mind's fucked up, who makes that up just to spew out at my parents' house for no reason? Everyone just kind of looked at him. But then you believe it because you're like, he wouldn't just make that up. Like, what? Like, he had to sit in bed and think about that. Like, oh, tomorrow I'm gonna lie about Johnny Depp. It's gonna be Johnny Depp this time. He's gonna write a children's book about me. That's what's gonna happen. Like, what? That's kind of shit. Like, and you believe it because you're just like, what? Like, and then if you question it, he makes you feel stupid. So that's just a little taste. My other favorite, there's so many. A really good one is Leonidas, yeah. So we're at Thanksgiving dinner and we're all just having a grand old time, and Evan just, you know, decides he's gonna tell a little quickie. Let me get a drink for this one. So he says, whenever we have kids, I hope it's a guy, and the first child has to be named Leonidas. And so me, of course, I'm like, the fuck? No, it's not gonna be named Leonidas. You are fucking shitting me. And he's like offended. He's like, Morgan, it has to be named Leonidas. So my family's like intrigued. They're like, why? And he's like, my great-great-great-grandfather is King Olaf of Norway. My first son has to be named Leonidas. And first of all, we all just kind of like look at each other, and I'm like, first of all, why haven't you told me this? It's November. This is really weird. And then second of all, I was like, I'm sorry, like, but I mean, your mom didn't name you Leonidas or any of your brothers, so why would you have to do it? And then he started to get like defensive about it because I was questioning him. And my mom was like, just stop. Oh, it's okay. Maybe you can name him Leo. And I'm like, no, mom, like, no, this isn't happening. Like, our kids aren't going to be named like Leonidas. Like, it's just not going to happen. And he's actually getting angry. Like, we were fighting over a fake ass heritage to where my family believed him. And I was like, this is fucking weird. Like, he would have told me about this, but like, how weird is that? And so now it's like, looking back on it, it's like, what the hell? Like, this guy would make up a lie about anything. But you believe it because it's so weird. My mom literally believed that she had to name her grandchild Leonidas. Sad story. But anyways, I want to thank you all for joining my little therapy sesh. And I hope that everyone can understand why I took so long to talk about this, because I know it's been like months, like almost 3 months now. But I'm finally at a place where I feel like I could talk about it without being like super weird or depressed or crying or something like that. Because you can ask any of my friends, like close ones, like I was not myself for a little bit, and I finally gained my weight back. Like, I lost, 15 pounds, and you can see, like, I'm a very small person, so losing, and I've got fake boobs, so losing 15 pounds looks, disgusting, like disgusting. And so I'm finally back to a normal self, and I feel better about myself to be able to talk about it. So yeah, I hope that everyone actually watches the whole thing, because I mean, it's long as fuck, but I had to get it all out there. I'm definitely gonna ask Casey to do a Evan's Lies YouTube, and that one's gonna be way more funny, because this shit is like, you think that those 2 lies that I told you were good, like they're woo, you haven't even you haven't even heard anything, literally. All right, I'm starting to get weird.